What's up, everybody? This is Grant Cam in the building. We got the ultimate ladies man, King Dre. Some of that, they'll spring a little bit of King Dreism on this building right now. Listen, King Dre, I'm really happy to have you on the show. Welcome, man. Thank you for coming.
Hey, thank you for having me, bro. Thank you for having
Absolutely.
me.
This episode is about saying that your game is your power because what I've learned through coaches like you, and I'm fairly new to you with your dating advice because I come from the similar people that you have worked with before, which is Afi Kingdom, MLD, and all these other guys. Like I got a lot of coaching through MLD's academy, which significantly helped me. And same with Afi and all the other guys that have been very helpful to me so far. So I'm really excited to have you on the show so that way I can be more informed of what is it that sets you apart from other dating coaches, and also a little bit about your journey and any kind of projects that you have coming up that can help men become better men, which is, obviously you have your website, ultimateladiesman.com. So, King Dre, before we begin the show, I want to ask you tell us a little bit about yourself. So a little bit about your past, what's going on in the present moment, and do you have any future goals or aspirations to achieve?
Well, as far as my past, got to be more specific, man.
Sure. Like
I
what,
lived
where did you, yeah, like where did you grow up? What was it
okay,
like
yeah.
for you?
So I grew up in Tampa, Florida, single mom, just like most people from my demographic. It wasn't like I wasn't like in the government cheese line, but I wasn't rich.
Mhm.
Regular school, was a regular kid at school. I wasn't the most popular kid in school, but I did have girls. So I started the whole girl thing when I was in like sixth grade. Um,
Okay.
at least like trying to get girlfriends and shit like that when I was about 11 or 12. And it just grew from there, basically. But yeah, my upbringing was not much like not much different than most people's. Just it was regular. It wasn't like I was like a starving kid in Africa somewhere. It's just regular shit. But I wasn't rich. I
Mhm.
was poor enough to feel it because you can't get everything you want, but not that, I didn't, I knew I wasn't like some other people that I know, basically. But
And what's going on in the present moment for you right now? I see you have your website, so explain a little bit
oh
about
yeah, so
that or what's
now
going on. Mhm.
so now I'm just, coaching men all over the world. Putting this knowledge out so men could become better men. I believe that, a weak broken society comes from weak broken men, and I just want to fix men. Um and so you got to kind of give the candy with the medicine, and the candy is the women. It's ultimately, if you look deep into my content, it's ultimately about making yourself a better man.
Mhm.
But it's just dating is just a huge part of men's lives. So that's the medium that I use to get my message out.
Mhm. And if you could also explain a little bit about ultimatелadiesman.com, what does that entail?
That's I have a course coming out called ultimateladiesman.com where I'm teaching guys, and my courses are official. I'm basically
Oh yeah.
teaching guys
Put you on full screen right here. Go ahead.
how to date, how to play the field, and how to do it good. Because that's something I've done my whole life. So I'm bringing it to the marketplace. Well, from the initial approach, cold approaching, all the way up into escalating to sex. So everything in between, from screening from screening time wasters, screening women who are gonna waste your time, screening attention whores, how to spot serial daters. Um, and a serial dater is a woman who like dates around but has no intentions on giving up the goods. She just likes going to try different restaurants and dates and the experience on the dime of a man, but she
Mhm.
has no intention to, escalate things further from that. So I teach you how to spot that. I teach you how to spot the women who are vulnerable, who give it up easy. Teach you how to spot women that's in a whole phase. I teach you how to text. I teach you, what not to say, what to say. I teach you how to have your crib laid out, the type of music. It's everything. It's the ultimate, make you the ultimate ladies man, basically.
And I'll
In
say,
terms of dating.
mhm. And I'll say this, King Dre, that's a lot that you just condensing in one course. That is not easy. Like,
Yeah.
is it for you to teach all that? That's great because it's like an all around mix of everything. Because I remember when I was in with MLD, it was life advice. I came in with dating. Like I'll tell you this, man. My game. I grew up. So I'll explain a little bit about myself if you don't mind.
Hmm.
So for me personally, I grew up in a well-to-do family. I had both my parents in my life, and I I had pretty much everything I needed, like just a young kid growing up. I had, the education, I had everything I needed to be everything perfect, right? But the one thing
Uh-huh.
I did not have, King Dre, that was as solid was my game. I did
Right.
have charm. I did have humor. I was able to, I was decently looking enough to be able to pull some kind of girl. But the problem was is escalation. The validation issue was something I always faced, was that I always kind of felt I need to live in the shadow of my parents and impress them and all that kind of stuff. And that was just kind of like my own, insecurity that I had. And then with women, I remember this, King Dre, I'll never forget this. We were at the movie theaters, and there's this girl. So it was a double date. My
Mhm.
friend and his girl, they liked each other. I think they probably made out that night. But I was with my girl, and this is like when I was like 13 years old or something like that. We're sitting in the movies, and I have my arm around her, and I'm just scared shitless. I'm like, what the fuck do I do? I have no idea what to do here. I'm like, do I just turn and just like go like that, or like what do I do?
Mhm.
So I wanted anyone who's watching this right now or watching on the replay, like what King Dre just expressed, like the whole like program that you guys are going to be going through for the ultimately.ladiesman.com. I am full support of it. Now, I haven't seen the content, I haven't seen any of the work in it, but I will say this, that the layout of what King Dre just explained to us is fantastic, because I know a lot of guys, they'll say, okay, I can maybe escalate, but when it comes to my crib, like it's trash. Like I don't know, how to set it up and make it look like it's suitable for both men and women, but in a masculine way.
Right.
So,
Right.
mhm. And what was your and for you, what do you want to do with ultimately.ladiesman.com? Like, where do you see the vision of this going? Like after you, let's say the course launches and it's an absolute success, which I'm sure it will be, because you're gonna fucking crush it, because you're really good at what you do.
Appreciate
So
it.
yeah, absolutely, man. So what are you gonna what's like the next step for you, like after Ultimate
Books.
Ladies Man? Oh
Books.
yeah. Like ebooks, or just like you would prefer to
No
type
book.
it out?
Yeah, book, a regular book.
Mhm.
Audio format too. I initially got into this to write a book. The whole idea behind me even doing content was, I knew that, okay, I wanted to write a book, right? And the only way to get a book to sell in the social media age is you have to put yourself out there. So after years and years of being scared, I saw something that inspired me. And also my situation, I was like, I need to do something different. So I turned my camera on and I made a YouTube video, uh, in hopes that I would get a big enough following to sell my book. So I was writing my book at the same time. I don't know how I got the idea to do a course, but I was like, let me put something together. But you know what it was? I made a video. A guy had asked me, this is probably when I had maybe 100, 200 subs on YouTube, maybe 1,000 followers on Instagram. I didn't have a TikTok yet. But a guy asked me, man, how do I become attractive? How do I make myself attractive? So I made a video, right? I did a video, and the shit was like an hour and a half, like an hour and a half video that I uploaded on YouTube. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, I should fucking charge for this. Like, this is an hour
Yep.
and a half video that I should charge. So I took it down and I made it, like, I just did a like lecture style. Like I broke the points down in lecture style, expounded on it a lot more, made it about 2.5 hours, put more information, and I just sold it. So once I started selling the courses, I started making money, and so I kind of put the books to the side. Um, and I got caught up in, not necessarily caught up, but I just you get caught up in promoting the course. Then you do
Mhm.
another one that do good. You do another one that do good. So I just got kind of caught up in that. And so after I get done with this one, I'm going to be done with the courses for a while and finish my book, because that's the reason why I started doing this in the first place. Because I don't like being on camera. I don't like live streaming. I don't like. I mean, it's cool because I love what I do, but just the lights of it all, and people knowing me and shit. I don't like that. So
Okay.
I I really, but that I knew that was the only way that I can sell a book, was
Mhm.
to start doing this, like doing shit like this. So, again, after I do this course, I'm gonna, take me a little break for a minute, and then my next step is my book.
Nice, nice. And we have Rich Mejia asking a question. I think you pretty much answered already, but he's saying, thank you for the question, Rich. He's saying, what inspired you, King Dre, that made you get on social media?
Yeah, I just wanted to write a book to help men, because I have a soft spot for seeing men get done dirty.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just don't like it. So I wanted to, help what I thought was a small pool of men, because I
Mm-hmm.
thought before getting on the internet, I thought most people had my mentality. I thought most guys were players and new game and shit. So I wanted to help the small few that I thought. Well, it just so happens when I get on the internet, I've realized that I'm the minority. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to help, and I wanted to do it through a book. And the only way to sell a book these days is to have a social media presence. So that's why I
Mm-hmm.
got on social media.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rich, again for that question. It's funny because I did not know that information like this exists on the internet, King Dre. Like I thought to myself, I had to go through a journey to even find guys like you, Lucario,
Yeah.
Miles, and everybody. It took me a long time. I remember buying like pickup courses, like pickup artist courses. I picked up. I mean, I went on YouTube, binge watch, like anybody I thought that made the most sense in terms of getting with women. Uh, but your guys' advice stands out a lot. What is it about, like, I have to throw you in the mix with like you, Lucario, and Miles. Like your guys' advice is very similar in some respects, right?
Because it comes from the field. That's why. And not
Hmm.
this is no shot at nobody, because I appreciate everybody that's trying to help me now.
Hmm.
I live what the fuck I'm talking about. So
Hmm.
I didn't learn this on YouTube. I never bought a dating course. I never booked a coaching session. I didn't know. I know of one guy,
Hmm.
which inspired me to write the book, was a guy named Tariq Nasheed. He do a lot of the race stuff now,
That
but
sounds so familiar.
his name
His
is
name
Tariq
sounds.
Nasheed. He does a lot of the racial shit now, but before he did this, he was a dating coach. And I found him through, I was listening to a guy named Tommy Sotomayor. He used to, I don't know if you know him, but he used to like be hell on black women and shit. And he was very entertaining at the
Hmm.
time before he went all crazy. So he had this guy, Tariq Nasheed, on his thing, and this was like in 2010. And so I was like, who the fuck is that dude talking that shit? I like him because he's talking about how I live. So I researched him and I started listening to him. And he
Hmm.
inspired me to change my life for the better, because I was in a dark place and doing a lot of the wrong things in life. And I
Hmm.
saw that he was a guy that came from that same type of world. And so he inspired me to want to clean myself up and get my act together, as far as like legitimizing my money and being legit, and stop doing the bullshit with my life. And so I saw that he was a guy from a similar background, and he wrote a book helping men. So I'm like, damn, I didn't even know this type of shit existed. This was back in like 2010. Now,
Hmm.
mind you, I'm already a guy that's getting a lot of money, women, and all of this shit, but this guy just resonated with me. So once he started getting to the race stuff, I kind of fell back from it. But again, I didn't know this type of shit existed. Now I knew of Lucario because Lucario used to advertise on Tariq Nasheed's show. So I knew of Lucario. Like, so Lucario has been doing this and shout out to Lucario, that's my boy.
Hmm.
He's been doing this for a long time, like back like 10 years ago, a long, long time. So look, I knew of Lucario existed, but I didn't know that this space existed like this until I made my video. And then I started seeing guys start talking about red pill. I'm like, what the fuck is red pill? So started, typing in red pill. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? Now the information, as far as like female nature, it's shit I already knew. Like I already
Hmm.
was living this shit. But just to see the type of community that was behind it, and all of the different dating coaches, and how much the money that was in it and all this shit, I'm like, I got to do this shit. So yeah, I didn't know this existed either until I started making videos.
Do you agree with? Okay, so I often analyze the red pill, and I like to talk about how the red pill makes men unemotional robots. And I feel like if there's in dating, it's not so black and white all the time. There is a lot of
Right.
gray. And do you feel that red pill has been? I think it's a double-edged sword, because when I stumbled upon it, I was like, what the fuck is this information? Why is it resonating so well? Why is it that nobody's talking about this? And I feel like I've been deprived of that information my whole life. I'm like, how come my dad didn't teach me this? And I love my dad. He was very good to me. But
Yeah.
just for any like a big brother out there, or like some fucking mentor or somebody, like, why doesn't anyone talk about this? You know what I mean?
Go
But
ahead.
yeah, and just for me, King Dre, that has woken me up about the red pill is that, yes, it did help me out significantly, but it's also I did have a moment where it made me kind of like red pill robot hypergamy doesn't care. Like I always like talk about this shit on my stories. I'm like, guys need to be a little bit more animated, or need to be a little bit more I think a little bit more compassionate or a little bit more empathetic, but not to the point where the girl's using you, not to the point where she's running, running like, game on you the whole time and she's just like using you or whatever. But
Yeah.
what's your whole take on the whole world of the red pill?
Like, okay, now again, as far as that type of information, that information comes from like my environment. Well, I'm gonna tell
Yes.
you, I can't come from a pretty world, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these type of, like, I grew up seeing this. Like, I grew up hearing bitches ain't shit, and
Mm-hmm.
bitches like money. Like, we grew up as kids on that type of shit. Fuck these hoes ain't shit. We've been on that our whole lives, right? And even without a red pill, that's why I don't really talk. I appreciate the space for the sake of conversation, and that it helps young men to learn how to date and deal with female women and their bullshit or whatever. But I didn't really identify with it because I come from a different place. So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't connect to it like that. But I appreciate it, right? That's why I never claim to, you never hear me say red pill Dre or I'm red pill. It's because that type of information didn't change my life. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
already knew it when I came. You see what I'm saying? When I came here. And that was my whole idea, was to come on here and spit this shit for what I know. But then there so happened there's a space to red pill. Now, to answer your question, I think it's good, but I do think um it makes, like you say, people robotic, but they're robotic because they're not, I don't know how to call it, but they're just soaking in information and not even applying it. Because when you get out there and actually do it, you'll formulate your own, you'll grow into your own style. You'll see that, okay, uh, maybe this ain't true, or it's not so black and white, and you'll adapt to the things that you are experiencing. When you see a lot of these guys just like robotic on the internet, it's robotic, or single mothers, this, it's, they're just sitting behind a computer and this is their life and they don't do anything. They don't have a style. They don't, uh, and that's not even the red pill's fault, because if it was, if it was anime, they would be behind the computer talking about anime like that, or video games or whatever. You just have people who sit on the computer all day and just, they need something. Most people need something to identify with and to cling to. And for, the red pill is something for men to identify with and cling to. And again, a lot of men, instead of going out and living, they just cling to an ideology which helps them feel better, and that's all they do. And so they just regurgitate shit, just regurgitate. They hear me say something, and they hear you say something, or hear Rollo Tomasi say something, and instead of knowing, instead of going out there and experiencing the shit for yourself, they repeat it as law. It's like you say, almost robotic. So,
And no, that makes sense, because what's really funny is, like, yeah, you sound like such a cool internet alpha man, red pill, all this and that, and then the moment you go on the field and you see a girl, you fucking cringe.
right.
You're just like, what the fuck do I do? And it's funny because I posted something on my stories recently. You should go check it out after after our episode, and it literally shows a guy like talking as if he's like super robotic to these women. He's like saying, like, how are you gonna? He's like, the first question he asked her is like, how are you gonna keep a man? Like, you got to remember this. Like,
Yeah.
if a man is okay, let's just say I'm red pill aware, right? But I don't apply my red pill aware knowledge in an everyday life where it makes it like I'm exposing my red pill knowledge. Like, I just have the information. It sits up here, and then I curate it in the way that is congruent to my personality and who I am. So,
Right.
and also you got to keep in mind that these girls, they don't understand this red pill shit. So you have to like kind of inchworm your way into it and kind of indoctrinate them and understand, like, this is how really the reality works. This is
But
how,
this is
like,
the game. This is the game. It's not even for them. They don't understand it. They never gonna understand it. It's not for them. It's not. I always tell guys, like, I'd be like, hey, send me your screen. Why am I struggling? Why she doing this? Send me your screenshots. And they talking shit that they heard Rollo Tomasi say. And they telling this to women like it's supposed to make what sense to women. And the women are like, you fucking jerk. And it's like, you're not, that's a rule of the game. That's how I know, again, a lot of guys that just sit on the internet and just parrot shit. When I learned as a kid is, you don't discuss game with women. You don't chop it up with women. Like, okay, you can lace a woman with game and you can give her game and give her knowledge to upgrade herself, but you don't discuss men's game and men's knowledge. Not even game, but you don't discuss man shit with women. They don't understand it. They'll never understand it. They're not men. So number one, you should never discuss that type of shit. When you go and approach a woman or when you're talking to a woman, deal with the woman based on, like you say, you know, your personality, but don't go spit and shit that you learned in a book or some shit like that, because she's not gonna get it. She's not gonna understand. You're not even speaking her language.
I'll even say this, like the term the high value man is just so overhyped now. And it's gone to the point where even guys will use that as a reason to say like, hey, you should hook up with me just because I'm a high value man. And I don't believe a high value, and high value man, the term is so subjective too, because I pointed out on my Instagram before King Dre, where I said, listen, a high value man can be a man who has rock solid game. Minimum, every high value man has a rock solid game. That's a minimum. And then you can have a modest car, a modest house, a modest life, and a girl that you just find attractive enough, and like you can live a good life, and that's considered a high value man. If you're good with your children, if you have kids, if you are just good with your woman, and you understand how life works, you're getting your money, your character, and most importantly, your character. I think that's what a lot of guys in the red pill, they often forget, King Dre, is that like your character is so fucking important. And a lot of guys are just literally being unemotional the whole time. They're just being like boring, and they're just being, it's not really, I don't know. What do you think? You think like there are a lot of guys lack character on the internet, or not on the internet?
A lot of
people,
guys, a lot of people lack character in general. It's like the internet just exposes it. Like this whole thing where, you know, guys, these type of guys, or even the women, it's nothing new. If anybody that was out here before all of the internet shit, well, no, it's nothing new. It just exposes it. So now, you know, now these people have a voice. So the guys that you're talking about 15 years ago were in the house jacking off to, you know, porn subscriptions, or, you know, Bang Bus, or what it's called, Bang Brothers, and
I think Bang Bus is actually
Bang Bus, yeah, 8th Street Latinas and all that shit. You know, they had subscriptions to that shit. So now it's just they have a voice now. So it just seems as though, you know, and that's no knock to nobody. It's just, again, it is what it is. Honestly, I don't really put too much thought or stock into shit like that, but you know,
I think you try not to be funny. I think you're just like proving, you're saying your point and not trying to be funny about it, but the way you say it and your delivery is just really funny. I don't know if anyone else notices that when they watch your content, but you're actually like very funny when you watch this stuff. And by the way, I put you on, I put my friends on to your information, and they really love it. And I think absolutely, dude. And your short videos are solid. I really like it in the background noise where it's like all dramatic and stuff. It's very, very good.
Yeah, I was I got that from TikTok, man. I was just fucking around, man, and like, oh shit, let me I was just fucking around one day, man. I was like, the last year around this time, because I saw a younger guy. I noticed he was doing Instagram. He was doing his Instagram videos, and it was TikTok videos. Okay. So I was like, I hit him up. I was like, is TikTok good? He was like, hell yeah, you should get on that shit. Right. So I went to his TikTok. He had like 8,000 followers. I'm like, I need to get on that, right? But he only had like 10 videos. So I'm like, whoa, hold on. Right. So I had already had a TikTok that I made like probably 6 months before this time. And I forgot the password. I uploaded like 10 videos. That TikTok is probably lit. I just forgot the password, because you know how TikTok works. Like, right. It just blows your videos up because it shows it to everybody. But I uploaded all of the videos, and then I just never logged back into it. And so like 6 months later, I was trying to find the password. I was like, maybe that account got some, you know, followers and shit. So I just made a new one, and I did a video, the 3-date rule. I was like, yo, you know, I was like, look, I'm gonna just say some shit, right? I'm like, I'm like, hey man, if a girl ain't let you hit it by the 3rd date, just cut your losses and move on. She probably don't like you. She's using you for attention, blah, 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 right? It's like a 15-second video. And I was like looking at all of the options and the filters and shit. And so I clicked the sounds, and it was like a music track. So I put the music track behind. I was like, oh, shit sound cool, right? It's like a corny shit. But it came out actually good, right? Yeah. It came out good. And this was my first video that I recorded for TikTok. So I uploaded it with the sound, and I had never scrolled TikTok or nothing. I just this dude that I don't know if you know Zay. Shout out to my little
yeah. I did an episode with Zay. Shout out to Zay.
So it was Zay turned me on to it. So Zay was like, yeah, just do it. So I did that shit, right? And so it came out good. I was like, I like it. It sound the sound is corny as shit. I'll send it to you, but the music is corny and shit. And I actually used this sound for like months. But I uploaded the shit, right? Now, mind you, this type of style of content, like my type of delivery, rough and raw and shit, is new to TikTok.
Oh yeah.
Zay was the only person, and Zay is not even as hardcore as me, right? So I did the video basically like, hey, the bitch don't like you. If you ain't hit it by the third date, and I'm saying it, I'm talking just like that. If you ain't fucked up by the third date, cut her off and move on because she don't like you. She using you for attention, and blah, right? So I upload this video with this little corny sound. So I go to Publix, right? Never forget, I go to Publix. And my phone is blowing up. And it's like 30 minutes later, the video got 7,000 views already. I'm like, oh shit.
Wow.
Right? So I'm reading the comments and it's women going off. I'm not ready for this, right? Going off. So I start deleting. I'm getting scared. I start deleting comments and shit like, what the fuck, right? So another hour, 14,000 views, right? But now it's men like, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. So the comments are crazy. If this video end up getting like 60, 70,000 views overnight. So I was like, whoa, this is where it's at.
Fuck.
It's where it's at. So I said, okay, I'm gonna do TikTok. I'm gonna focus on TikTok because I didn't know that TikTok's algorithm shared your shit to everybody, regardless if they followed you or not. That's why it's easy to blow up on there. But yeah, man, that's how I got the style. Like you was talking about the background music and shit. I was just fucking around one day, and looking at the videos, put a filter on it and shit, and it's just the first sound that I heard, I was like, this sound kind of corny, but I'm gonna put it here and just turn it down. I just did it, and I just kept doing that shit, and it just kept working, bro. And now to date, I got 680-some thousand followers on that shit. So
that's very, very impressive. And yeah, no, shout out to Zay because I like Zay's style as well. And one thing I really appreciate about Zay is that he's all into fashion and swag, and he teaches you how to dress like a fucking boss. And I really, really appreciate that because most dating coaches, they're just being specific, and that's fine to be very specific because that's how you grow your business even more too. When the more narrow and specific you are, the better, because guys know, hey, King Dre, that's the dating coach guy. But the best part is that when you sign up for, and anyone who's watching this right now, you make sure you sign up for Ultimate Ladies Man course, ultimatелadiesman.com, to sign up for his course and to get the whole wazoo, the whole package.
And you get 2 other courses for free, because I got a course, Attraction 101, which teaches you how to be attractive, not just physically attractive, but personality attractive, charm, mouthpiece, code approaching, ambition. I teach you step by step how to develop this type of shit, how to actually become charming, how to actually become, confident, like step by step in this course, Attraction 101. Then I got a course, How to Make a Woman Fall in Love with You, which is the psychological game. It's like 2.5 hours. So you get all 3 of those in one package with this shit. So just to throw that out there.
That sounds like a fucking steal for me, for anybody who's like needs some major help on your game. Do not be cheap. Spend the money. I'm sure King Dre will freaking kill it. The one, what's really funny? You actually interviewed my one of my friends. His name is Huds, Alex. You interviewed him on Instagram Live about maybe.
Oh no, he interviewed me. I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he interviewed you. You were on his Instagram page, and he was interviewing you. So Alex Huds and I, Huds is his his dating coach name. So Huds and I, we were in Vegas with a big group of our friends. We have like a mastermind group, so we're helping guys become better and all that kind of stuff. And then one thing that you said just now regarding regarding charm. Charm is so freaking underrated. And I don't think a lot of guys talk about it, King Dre, because when I was in Vegas with Huds and all the other guys, Huds knows what he's doing. I know what I'm doing. And when we're going out, there's some guys who are very shy and reserved. And a lot of them haven't even been on an airplane before. Okay. So they flew from their state, their respective state, flew all the way to Vegas. And I'm staying with one of the guys in my room. And this guy's relatively shy as well. And I took him to What Republic in Las Vegas. I don't know if you've been to What Republic in MGM Hotel before. It's like one of those like pool parties and stuff.
No, I never been there.
Well, you should go there anyway and go crush it, because go crush it and go get all those girls' numbers and then take them all to your room. so here's what's happening. I'm at the pool, and then I would tell the guy that I'm walking with, I'm like, hey man, any girl you want to talk to, let's go talk to them right now. He's like, I don't know. And I'm like, dude, just any girl. I don't care what she looks like. I don't care if she's 6'10". Any girl you want to talk to, let's talk to her right now. But along the way, while let's just say we found a girl like on the other side of the pool, there's some space and there's some room. There's a good moment of like 10 to 15 seconds where we can walk and see other girls along the way, right? And one thing I told him, this is again regarding charm. I'm having my glass. I'm just going to hold this, my half-gallon jug or whatever. So imagine like I'm holding a cup and I'm walking around the pool party and I go up to girls. I'm like, hey, what are you guys drinking? Like, cheers. And that's charm. That's just reeling them in without saying like, hey, I came over to say you were cute and I wanted to talk to you. Like, that's not the environment to say it. I mean, you can do that too. It's not the worst thing in the world to say. It's better than saying like, oh, than that.
Yeah.
But when I'm walking around, I'm just telling my friend, listen, you see that Asian girl over there? Like, you like her, right? He's like, oh yeah, she's hot. I'm like, dude, just go over there and just give her a cheers. Be like, hey, how are you doing? And just walk away. And she's gonna be like, what the fuck? This guy didn't want to talk to me?
Right.
What's wrong with this guy?
Right.
But that right there is so freaking important. So is there anything, King Dre, without revealing your whole course, your teaching and everything, is there anything about charm that you can like share with us from your course that guys can get like a hint or a preview?
It's simple. It's just basically charm is the art of making people smile and making people feel good. Simple. So figure out how to do that, which I teach you how to do exactly that. But it's all it is, because most guys don't even know what it is. So, and the key to that, though, one of the keys to that, to charm, is to not being selfish. A lot of guys are self-absorbed. A lot of these guys who are, they have social anxiety, they shy and shit. A lot of these guys are full of themselves and they think they're more important than they actually are. And this is why they're awkward and socially, anxious, because they think people care about them, because, that's how far they head up their ass. When you realize that people don't care about you, you stop being selfish, right? And again, one of the keys to charm is to not be selfish. When you walk up to somebody, you have the intention to, win them over through making them smile, or, giving them a positive chemical rush. And you can do that by complimenting, even by sitting there just having a conversation with them. Your conversation may make their day. Don't talk about you as much. You can sit, a person can talk to you. A person can talk to you for, 10, 15 minutes, right? And you cannot say a word, but if you're listening to them, you will make them feel good, because somebody's, they feel like somebody's listening to them. That's charming, right? And I always say, you can lack a whole bunch of qualities. You can lack ambition. You can even damn near lack confidence. You can be fat and ugly. But if you have charm, you can charm a woman's panties off. You see what I'm saying? Charm is very important. So you don't need to be charming to get women, though. I don't want guys to think that, I gotta, learn how to be charming. The thing is, you don't need to be charming to get women, but it helps you. It's like a cheat code. So, but again, the key to being charming is to not be selfish in your interactions and think about the other person. It's just again, making other people happy and arousing admiration in yourself. So when you make somebody feel good and they like you, that's what being charming is.
And I'm going to double down on what you just said, King Dre. Another thing that we all have to keep in mind is that every human being is very unique in their approach. Every person is very unique in terms of how they want you to get at them. Right. In business, life, friendship. I mean, look, I'm in Los Angeles, like I told you. And one of the gym I go to is like the Hollywood of like where we are in LA. And it's full of social media people, TikTokers. Like, you probably might have scrolled through some videos. You might have seen these like super young kids. And they're like, 21, 22, 23, making millions of dollars. It's ridiculous. And I'm so happy for them. It's just crazy, like how young they are, and they're making more money in their full-time job TikTokers. I love it. So, for example, when I talk to these guys versus like the guys on YouTube, or versus the people on my family business or whatever, it's just different. Everybody, and even I don't know if you ever saw the Game Kings documentary that Lucario and Miles and everybody always advertises. Great documentary. In one part, there's that guy named Rosebud, who's like one of the more senior members of the group. And
yeah, I watched him as a kid.
I had no idea who Rosebud was.
I watched him as a kid.
I wish I had access to this guy. I wish I had access to everybody when I was younger. I would have been killing it in high school and college and everything. I mean, I still had a good time. I still had my fair share, but could have done more. Could have done more for myself. But nevertheless, one part of Rosebud says that sticks in my mind all the time. He's like, hey, how are you? And then he's just like, bitch, you think I fucking care about how you feel or whatever? He's like, all I want to know is all I want to know is what the words that come out of your mouth and how you say it, so I know how I can get at you. Yeah. So, if you're at the pool, for example, and I was telling this to my friend who I was with, I was like trying to help him. I told him, listen, when you hear the girl speak, if she speaks to you like, ooh, hey, how are you doing? Like that, then you're not going to be like, oh, I'm good. How are you? You're going to be like, oh, hey, come over here. You're going to pull her in. Like, Hey, how are you doing? So when, there's a difference to that. And that's also, would you say that's an element of charm as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
And
basically.
mhm. Yeah, and I'll say this, shout out to everybody, by the way, for the comments. Thank you for everybody. And Frank, good to see you too, brother. Thanks for watching the show. Uh, it's just everybody has a different, unique way of going about it. And also I'll say this, like being just someone that is, I think you want it when you're charming, you're also likable, but I don't want it to be where like guys are getting the wrong message, like the inclination that they have to be liked by everybody. That's not what I'm saying. It's just, when I want guys who are watching this video, when you go to a social function, let's say a family party or family friends party or something like that, and there's no girls there, don't just be on your phone on Instagram and like texting your friends or calling people like, on the side. Go talk to everybody, like talk to your parents' friends, talk to your grandparents, talk to like everybody. Because when you become, that's like social acuity right there. And then you understand like little elements. And what ends up happening is, King Dre, tell me if you agree with this, that like if you're in a situation where, let's just say there's no girls or prospects for you to like talk to, but the fact that you're able to master the art of conversation, be charming, now you put yourself in Vegas or Miami, right?
Yeah, you network. You never know who's who. So yeah, and that's one thing I had to learn because I'm not a crowd person. I'm not a friendly person. I'm a very generous, nice guy, but I'm not like a friendly, in your face. If I'm at a party, I'm not talking to everybody. But I learned a long time ago to get familiar with everybody, learn how to have a conversation with everybody. You don't have to be in everybody's faces. You don't have to be the life of the party because I don't like being the life of the party. I like for women to scan the room and be like, "Oh shit, who is that over there?" Okay. I learned how to be that a long time ago. That's the most effective game in the world, by the way. But yeah. So, but you do. I did learn that it's good to go and talk to people and hone your skills and learn how to network and even if there are no women, you can run across somebody who can got the job you're looking for or who can has connections to some shit you may need. So it's always good to go talk to people. And again, that helps you develop your conversation skills. That helps you develop your mouthpiece, which is a part of attraction because you can be as attractive as you want to be. If you don't know how to if you don't know how to communicate, you're not going to get no ass. You're not going to get no pussy because you got to tell her, "Hey, let's go back to my room. Hey, how are you doing today?" If you can't do that, then you can be as attractive as you want to be. You can have all the money in the world. It's not going to happen to you. So it's good to go talk to people and learn communication skills, basically.
A couple of things I just thought about while you were speaking. Number one is just to go back to charm for a moment. You said you don't have to be charming at every given moment, and I agree.
You don't
with
have
that.
to be charming at all. And I meant in order to get women, in order to get laid, because I don't want guys to see this and think, well, oh shit, I'm not charming. I'm not a charming person. You don't have to be charming to get laid, but it helps you. It's like a cheat code.
Yes.
To people. You know what I mean?
It's like, remember when we played N64, there was Game Shark, and Game Shark would like get you like all the cheats and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's something similar. Like, you're playing GTA 3 on the PlayStation 2, and then you just like, get unlimited weapons or whatever, unlimited ammo.
Yeah, it's just a cheat code, bro.
And and I just thought about also when you were speaking about charm is that, like you said, it's not required to get women, but it's good to have it in your toolbox. So if you want to implement it, you know how to do it, and you have the power to do it. See, that's important. I think as men, we love to have some kind of power and some kind of validity within ourselves that we are capable of doing a lot. And part of being feeling capable to do things is being able to get with the women that we want. Because King Dre, prior to getting dating coaching, I was getting not the kind of women that I want, and I needed help. And I did not have the the gift to be like. See, the funny thing is that my game was within me, but it just need to be, I need a lot of fine tuning. And I had the understanding or the charm or whatever it was that was in me, that like social intelligence, like Brad has called it out right there. Thank you, Brad, for the comment. I'm going to post it right over here. I needed the social intelligence. So, once I started learning, like I'm not using every single pickup artistry technique or anything like that. In fact, I actually took a lot of it out of my way, but it's ingrained now in who I am. And I think for guys who are watching this, they're going to take King Dre's course. You're going to take some things from King Dre and you're going to fine tune it and make your own version of it. And then you want to make sure you peer review it with King Dre himself and say that does it come out in a way that is attractive as a man for a woman.
Right. You
So
right about that?
so the it's, King Dre. One of the questions I asked Mr. 1950, who's part of Lakari's posse as well. I asked him, why do you think that men are not just getting the information that they need to get better with women? Why do men need guys like us, right? Why do men need to purchase like our courses, our books, and all that kind of stuff? What happened? Like, what did all of a sudden society just
Well,
turn
it's not.
off?
It's not. No, because you got to think about this, right? These guys, these type of guys, didn't just come from nowhere. These type of guys always existed.
Right.
The unfortunate reality is, though, 20 years ago, if didn't nobody teach you this shit, you just didn't fucking know. You was just relegated to paying for sex, or you wasn't getting sex. Now you have guys who teach you. So a kid can get on the internet and type, "How do I get my girlfriend back?" Uh, but I had to figure that shit out when I was fucking 18, 19 years old. When my girl cursed me out, I had to figure out what the fuck do I do about this. I couldn't get on YouTube and pay a coach. So they actually have it good now. Um, and again, it's not that we in 2021 all of a sudden men have become pussies. Men been pussies.
Mhm.
The world has been, you know, full of guys who didn't know what the fuck they were doing, and the select few who did. That's how it's always been a thing. It's just
Agreed.
now it's just highlighted, right? And the thing is now a lot of guys, even though they have the information, they don't take action. This is why you have a very few winners and a lot of losers, because people just don't take fucking action. You can give them all the information in the world. This is why if I could if I could if I had another way to make money, right? If I had another way to fucking make money, I would do this for free, right? But the reason why I charge for consultations, the reason why I charge so much to talk to me, one on one, is because I know I'm gonna waste my fucking time. I can tell you everything in the world, but are you going to apply it? So I charge so you don't waste my time, right? The problem is guys just don't apply the shit. That's the difference. Again, now they say, oh, it's more virgins than ever. Then how is that so when it's never been so easier to get laid? It's never been this easier to get laid. And you're talking to a guy who lost his virginity probably in 1999 or something like that,
Mhm.
2000, 1999, somewhere back up in there. And I've been fucking bitches ever since, consistently, right?
Right.
I know the difference. I came from, you know, two or three different generations, not like Gen Z and all that shit, but like
Mhm.
different phases of the game from 2000 to 2006, from 2006 to 2011, and 11 to 15, 16, 17, and from 2017 to now, where we have all of the dating, you have all of the dating apps and all of this shit. So I've seen different eras of the dating game, and I can tell you with certainty that it's never been so easier to get laid in a time like now. But the thing is, most guys aren't getting laid despite the overwhelming amount of information that can teach you exactly how to get laid. It's because people don't take action.
Agreed. Agreed. And shout out to Bernie. Good to have you in the building, brother. Thank you for watching. And shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Shout out to everybody who's watching this and everyone on the replay. Thank you for watching this again. This is a great interview so far. There was one video that you talked about, King Dre, that you talk about puppy love. For those who are for those who are not familiar with puppy love, what is puppy love?
It's high school love.
Mhm.
Like, when you middle school, not even high school, middle school love. When you got a girlfriend in middle school, it's just meaningless. Just meaningless love for validation. Just young, immature love that don't mean anything. It's basically that's what puppy love is.
Mhm. But so what? How's this being done? How's this being implemented in the first place for men that are like our age, for example? Like, why? What are guys doing? Why are
Because
guys even doing it?
because it's validation, man. It's like they fallen in love basically with women who provide them no value,
Mhm.
as though like they in middle school. That's why I call it, like, you guys are still on puppy love. Like, you 30 plus years old and you still on puppy love. You like a woman just for the idea that she maybe possibly can be your girlfriend and maybe possibly give you some consistent sex and validation, because that's all it's about, the possibility, because you're not going to get the consistent sex and validation because she's not attracted to you like that, right? And you don't even know how to carry yourself in a way that commands consistent sex and validation. But guys get so strung out in love and catch and develop feelings for a woman that they never had sex with. The woman provided them no value, don't do shit for them and shit. And I call that puppy love. And I think men should stop the puppy love shit and only deal with women, not deal with, but only, develop feelings for women, only fall in love, not even fall in love, because I don't think men should fall in love, but only develop feelings for and care for women who provide value to them, who do things for them, right? Because
Mhm.
that's what a woman's supposed to do. And the puppy love shit is over, right? And also, guys want puppy love, right? And which the video is about, guys wanting women to like them for them, like they in middle school, like, oh, you cute, I love you. It don't work like that. You have to actually, just like I'm telling you, to make a woman provide you value in order for you to develop feelings, you have to provide a woman value, like whatever the value, whatever she finds valuable. Generally, women aren't that stupid to just fall in love with a guy that they never seen, never had sex with, the guy who did nothing for you. Never see women say, oh, I'm just, unless it's a celebrity, and that's not even love, right? But I ain't never heard of a woman just developing all type of crazy feelings for the guy at work who never even approached her and talked to her. You see what I'm saying? Women aren't that stupid, right? But you'll have a man who will sit and just develop this crazy love and crazy attraction and develop all type of feelings for a woman who basically has done shit for him, right? But anyway, I made the video about guys expecting women to like them for them, and basically the world don't really work like that. You have to provide people value if you want them to love you. If you want to be treated like a king, you got to act like a king. If you want to be treated like a leader, you have to lead people. If you want to, women to submit to you, you have to be something to submit to. The puppy love shit don't exist no more. The woman loving you just because you know you're a cute 12-year-old, it doesn't work. That doesn't exist anymore. And guys still have that same type of mentality.
Damn, that was a perfect clip that you can just record right there and just put that shit on your Instagram. That was good. That was a very, very good one. Well, let me ask you a question then. The one thing that you said in your video about the puppy love thing, you're like, love don't pay bills. And I was like,
No, I don't.
yeah. And I was like, yeah, that's absolutely, like, love does not pay bills. Would you say then that you're going more about it in a pragmatic way? Is it like you're just going more in a like a rational, logical sense or something? The way
No,
like your approach is?
you need the excitement, you need the feelings, but in that moment, that was in response to several guys on some bullshit.
Mhm.
It's like when you guys think that love is going to keep a woman around, when the bills need to be paid, survival kicks in and women smarten up. The love go away and it starts to make sense now. Why am I with this motherfucker if my lights are off? How can I survive like this? The feeling goes away, right? The puppy love shit go away when the bills are due. So if you can't fucking do that shit, if you can't, you don't have your business together as a man, the love shit it's only gonna last you for so long, right? And it's only the first time the first time the fucking check engine light come on and she can't get to work and she looking at your ass and you sitting there playing a game and smoking weed and like, oh, just love me for me and all that shit. That shit is over with because now survival kicks in and now
Mhm.
women become, yeah, women live in their emotions, but when you start talking about survival and I got to live to the next day and I got to figure out how I'm gonna eat and keep a roof over my head and be comfortable, the feelings go away and then logic and reason kick in. Even in women, the emotional women that men claim to be, they start to say, okay, all right, how am I going to eat now? What the fuck is he doing here? Why am I even with him? Regardless, they could just love you to death yesterday, but to let the lights cut off in the morning and you can't get the lights cut back on. The love go away and the reasoning kick in. The emotions fade and the reason and logic and survival kick in. Is like, okay, why am I even with him now? And now you have these ill feelings. And guys didn't understand that. That's why I made that video about to let the puppy love shit go, because it doesn't pay your bills. And it's not that I want guys to be robotic in their approaches to in their approach to relationships and shit like that. No, of course you need excitement. Of course you need feelings. Of course you need, you know, good turmoil and love and all of this shit. But and as far as like the maintenance go, as far as like the glue, you need to approach it from a rational standpoint. with logic and reason. And puppy love has nothing to do with that.
Right. I'm so happy we discussed this right now because I know a lot of guys, they could be, let's say, from like an engineering background, doctor background, or something that's very come from like academia, for example. And us guys like that can really just start becoming very like robotic, like not know what to do, and they might go a little bit too extreme to the puppy love stage, and then they realize, oh, we got to go back in the center, right? It's like a healthy combination of everything. It's and but the term puppy love, not saying that like, I guess like obviously puppy love is not good. You should not be in the act of doing puppy love in general. But being emotional, but not like you crying in front of your woman all the time and being some like bitch, but just, you know, showing some excitement, showing some passion in your romance too. I mean, you're not gonna be a freaking robot when you're fucking these girls. You gotta like be like passionate. You gotta like, you know, take these girls on like a erotic novel. So that way these girls feel like damn, this guy, like, I can't buy this from anywhere else.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm glad we talked about this too, because I remember one time I was taking I took salsa lessons with like a group of people. So there's guys and girls, and I remember this one time I kept asking like the salsa dance instructor like multiple questions. She's like, okay, foot like this like this, tap tap tap, whatever. And I asked her, I'm like, wait, is it like this? And then this, like this, ends up becoming like a twister, like a twister board game. I'm just like, wait, it's like this, like this. And the teacher looks at me, she's like, are you an engineer? And I'm like, no, why? She's like, because you're so like, you know, engineers, they ask like a million questions. They're like, is it supposed to be like this, supposed to be like that?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm not an engineer, but I'm just very inquisitive in general. I just got to know, like, how do you do it exactly on the dot?
Right.
So now another question I want to ask you, King Dre, is regarding the Corey Jones video. Now, I haven't seen the whole thing, but I watched your clips. I watched a little bit about Lucario's comments on it and Miles' comments on it. What was your biggest takeaway from the YouTuber Corey Jones, who had, oh my God, the hotel thing was ridiculous, by the way, where he sends his girl to, like, you know, he pays out of his own pocket for her to go to a hotel. Hey, you know what, honey? You go to that beautiful 5-star luxurious resort. You go get yourself a nice massage by the guy you want to get banged, the masseuse you want to get banged by. And then you're going to take him out to breakfast under my own credit card. And you're going to have a whole, you know, like nice breakfast spread.
Crazy shit.
We'll get the Danish. We'll have some pancakes. So what the fuck is going on? First of all, I mean, what's the biggest takeaway that you got from that whole video?
The puppy love, and he don't like guys like that. You know, that's what originally spawned that whole rant. It was like, you know, he was like, oh, I only make, you know, 28,000, but, you know, I thought we was just supposed to, you know, we love each other and we supposed to be there through thick and thin, and, you know, love conquers all and all that bullshit. I'm like, this is where you went wrong, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? That was the whole takeaway from that video. Not necessarily the cheating, because everybody got cheated on. It happens to the best of us, right? But just so guys don't understand, I wanted to highlight to guys why this happens to you. You know, you have a situation to where, you know, you barely getting by, you can barely put a roof over your head. And just like you say, when they broke up, she was able to go get her own crib and all that shit. So she obviously was the breadwinner, right? He had to go back and live with his sister and shit. So your little 25, 26,000, it's not enough to take care of a family. It's the puppy love has no room in a marriage. You operating on puppy love, and this girl is operating on survival, because she got to go to work every day and kiss ass and take bullshit from people and be mad and act, you know, code switch and fucking, you know, take shit from managers and be stressed out and work overtime. And she's riding home drained and thinking about, why the fuck do I have this man at home? He's just wasting fucking space. And then what happens when this happens every single day? Some personal trainer that has a good business and making a lot of money, and he's charming and shit, and he hit on you, and a woman starts to think, you know what? This is a lot better than what I have at home, right? But he don't understand this because he's operating on, oh, well, I love her and she's supposed to love me for me and all this shit. But here you are, you know, your woman is out in the world, basically what you doing, what you're supposed to be doing, which is going out, stressing, slaying the dragon, bringing the shit home so your woman can be comfortable. But no, you got your girl out in the world fending for you. And while she's out in the world, she's meeting real players. She's meeting real men, right? That's a lot that these guys are appealing to her. And your dusty ass is at the home operating on puppy love. So that was the biggest takeaway from that. That's why I wanted to highlight that. Not necessarily, you know, the wild shit she was doing. I just wanted guys to realize that. And that's how a lot of that shit starts.
Wow. Okay. So now, I always heard the word puppy love, but I did not know really like the true definition or the way that you explain it. And I'll tell you this, man, that was very eye opening for me. I felt like I had a little bit of a breakthrough. Not that I'm like in an active puppy love with other women right now, but just to explain like kind of like my past, like how shit never went the way it should have went. I'll say this, my ex-girlfriend, this Latina girl, I met her on this dating app called Hot or Not at the time before I don't think it exists anymore. But on this app, when we connected, we had a lot of fights, a lot of incompatibility. And all of this, King Dre, was under the guise of puppy love when I had no fucking idea that I did not have the true respect from this woman. And when you said that, like Corey was acting under the puppy love with his mentality, while she was acting under survival. And when I thought it, when you were talking about that, that was like right there, like that just hit me right there. And then when I thought about the survival thing, not that like we lived together, not that I was supporting her and she was supporting me or anything, but she didn't have any respect for me. And you also mentioned that in your video, talking about like, gotta have goddamn respect for yourself, man.
Yeah.
You
got to.
So then King Dre, why is it like guys like me in the past and guys currently right now, why do they have such low self-respect? Why is it that I allowed the mental abuse that my girl gave me and or my ex-girlfriend gave me at the time? And why did I accept it? Why didn't I just say, you know what? Well, fuck this bitch. I'm just gonna walk out.
Because you didn't believe you can get another one.
Yep.
Think about when you had $10 in your pocket. And that was all you had. And you ain't know where you was going to. Well, you say you come from a well-off family. So I don't know if I can use the money thing, but
no, you can't.
I don't know.
That's fine. It's fine.
I'm just saying for you to understand it. Like, I want it to be for you because, you asked me about you. I want you to kind of feel it. Okay. So just think about basically you in a situation to where, you don't know where your next bitch is coming from. Right.
Correct.
And it's more than the woman. It's about, women, dealing with women, and we for each other, men and women. When we deal with each other, we have hormones that release that makes us feel good. Dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, all this stuff when we deal with the opposite sex, right? So you having all of this stuff, right? And it makes you feel good. It's so subtle to the point the way you don't know why you feel the way that you feel, but this is the reason you feel the way you feel about her. So when you are willing to put up with anything so you don't lose this, it's like cigarettes, right? Cigarettes are the most powerful thing in the world. I don't know if you ever smoked a cigarette before, right?
I have, yeah.
You have been addicted to cigarette? Yes, right. So you don't feel high. You don't even feel good when you smoke it, right? It's not like, you smoke and he's like, oh God, I'm in this great euphoria. But the cigarette is doing something powerful to your body that you don't really notice, that's making it dependent on you, right? Your body dependent on the cigarettes. The same thing with love and women, right? So what happens is you ever had your last cigarette, 2 cigarettes left, and you didn't know when you was going to get some more. You smoke a few puffs and you put it out, and you smoke a few puffs and you put it out, versus when you're balling, you smoking them bitches back to back. It's the same thing with the woman, right? So when again, going back to these chemicals, right? These hormones, when you don't know where you're going to get your next shot of validation from, you tend to put up with a lot of bullshit from this one chick because you don't know if you can get another one. You don't know if you ever get it again. So you stay. It's being basically needy and out to the point to where you're insecure because you don't know where your next shot of validation gonna come from. You don't know where your next hit of dopamine gonna come from. You don't know when your next, wave of serotonin and oxytocin is gonna come from. So you tolerate this shit from this bitch. But when you know, okay, I have the skills to get any bitch I want, and I understand why I feel this way. See, the key is for guys to understand why they feel the way they feel. And I try to teach guys that the way you feel the way you feel is because when you're with this woman, your body is releasing hormones and chemicals called dopamine and serotonin. You can get this shit from anywhere. You can go work out and get the same feeling. But what happens is guys associate these feelings with the woman, just like you associate that subtle feeling with the cigarette. So you think, okay, I need a cigarette to get this. I need nicotine to get this. I need cigarettes to get this. And you don't, right? You can fucking do anything else to get the same feeling. So again, you like back to you just associated this with this chick, and you think that nobody else can give you this. You don't know where you're gonna get this from again, so you tolerate it, and that's why guys tolerate it, because they don't know where their next meal gonna come from, basically.
I'm so glad that you brought that up, because I know a lot of guys are maybe they have not realized that yet, and they're probably wondering like, why the fuck is this girl so mean to me, and why is she like just so disrespectful and stuff. Dude, I'll never forget this, King Dre. Like I brought this girl to my family's house. Okay, this is when we were going out together, and I remember we're in my family's house. We're gonna go paddle boarding. That's one of my favorite activities to do, and in the bay or in the ocean. And the whole family, like aunties, uncles, like everybody's there. Grandparents are there, and they're like, okay, so Cameron and her, like my ex, like we're all gonna go paddleboarding. Are you guys ready to go? And I mentioned to her multiple times before we drove from Los Angeles to go all the way to where my family lives, which is like an hour and a half away. And when we went towards that direction, we're in the car. I'm explaining to her, hey, we're gonna go paddleboarding. She's like, oh, I don't really like to go paddleboarding. And I'm like, come on, like you're my girl. You're supposed to like it, or at least like come with me and support me and be there to compliment me. Right. You don't have to fucking love it. Just come with me, and my family's there, so why not? And she literally said no in front of everybody. And when I heard that, I just looked at her and I was just like, oh shit. And my aunt looked at me. She's like, oh, this girl's definitely not for Cameron. But then when I saw that, I didn't care. I just looked at her. I'm just kind of like, it's not that I didn't care. I was just very disappointed and very let down by the whole experience. And I felt trapped, King Dre, to be honest with you. Like everything that you said is exactly how I felt. And I felt mentally trapped. And I know a lot of guys need your advice from your course. I know a lot of guys need your help. And I know a lot of guys like need to learn that their value is there. But it's going to take a lot of fucking work. It's not easy. Setting up your crib to look all pimp and shit, it's not easy. You got to have like the acumen for it. You got to you're going to get the foundation from King Dre. He's going to have it on this course. He's going to explain it. But then there's more to it. Like if you can figure out like, oh, you're on Amazon, you see like this can look really well with this, even though King Dre said, all right, buy this one specific candle, for example, right? Let's just say that's part of the advice. Then you end up saying, you know what? I seen this other candle or this other artistic piece that'll look really good with this candle. And you pair those two things together, you dim the lights in your house. She's probably going to feel super comfortable with you, at least like very romantic or something.
Right.
No, I like that, man. I really appreciate that you brought that up, because again, like once you put in the work, guys, I'll tell you right now, like I'm a student that used to be like that in the past. Like I did not know my value. Work, guys, be patient throughout the process. I promise you guys, it will be so worth it in the end. Because when you get to King Dre's level, and you get to my level, when I've overcome like all that bullshit, you feel extremely more powerful as a human being. And I feel like you just kind of walk around with your fucking dick out the whole time. Like, yo, what's up, guys? Like, yeah, problem with me or whatever. Or like, hey, ladies, like the ladies feel it. I remember one time a girl in my rotation, King Dre, said that she's like, Cam, I don't want to say this to you because I know you're going to like love it and it's going to boost your ego. It's going to stroke your ego like crazy, but you have big dick energy. And when I heard that, I was just kind of like, I remember I was like on my couch. I'm just looking at her like, why do you say that? And she just explained to me. I'm like, damn, okay. So that was like a cheat code within itself. And I've never been told that I have big dick energy. So I was like, okay. And then I'm telling you, I was in Vegas. I'm walking around. All these chicks are looking at me differently and stuff. And I'm telling you, once you have this like level of game and awareness, like it reeks through your fucking clothes. It reeks through your cologne too.
You can feel it.
Oh yeah.
You can feel it.
Oh yeah.
Definitely can feel it.
So just as we're approaching the end of the interview soon, I just want to ask you just a few more questions, or based on this question. I want to ask you regarding the, for guys out there who, let's just say they take your course, King Dre, and they are interested in having a family or, having a girlfriend, or they just want to have a rotation, right? And then within the rotation, they decide, you know what, I'm up for monogamy or just having a girl, whatever it is that they want to do. How do guys know that they found the compatible partner? Like the one that's actually legitimately like, she's like into him, she's very cooperative, submissive. Like, is there anything else that guys should be looking for to find out?
You gotta know what you want. You gotta know what you want. I know exactly what I want. Like step by step, A, B, C, D, E. And when I find that and she fits that A, B, C, D, E, it's not really a feeling for me. It's practical. And she needs to be this. 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 And I need to feel something, right? So if she checked those boxes, she's there. Period. It's that simple. Guys don't know what they want, right? Or they don't know how to quantify what they want. They don't know how to write the shit on the paper. okay, if I need 4 qualities that I need before I take a woman serious. Write that shit on a piece of paper and, you know, write that shit on a piece of paper and, internalize it. And that way you know what you're looking for. Because again, a lot of guys are just going with the flow, going with the flow, going with the flow. I'm not a go with the flow person. I try to be the flow. I try to control the flow. So I want to control, what's going on in my life. And with that, it's the women that come into my life, and I need them to be a certain way if I'm going to take them serious. And I have a criteria, and once they fit that criteria, then they the one, regardless of where they come from, how they look. Well, you can't be fat and ugly and shit, but
Right.
it's not necessarily based on a feeling. Like guys is like, oh, how do I know when I found the one? And guys are looking for a feeling, right? Is looking for a feeling instead of what their standards are, what their preferences are, and mapping it out and knowing exactly what they want. Once you do that, you'll know when she's the right one. She's the right one because she fits everything that she needs, that you need her to fit.
And you know what, man? That's exactly. See, the funny thing is, like, this is not some magical secret power advice or anything. It's so simple because it's just nobody knows about it,
Yeah.
And in King Dre, I have a vision board in my room with all the shit that I want, all the cars that I want, all the kind of life I want, the kind of family lifestyle or whatever the fuck it is. It's all there on my board, literally in my bedroom upstairs, and I look at that shit every fucking day before I sleep and when I wake up. That's specific, right?
Right.
And now you're bringing that specific act of being specific into dating.
Today,
it has to happen like that.
Yeah.
There's no going away around it. I sincerely think there's no way of going around. Look, I've been there both non-specific and specific. And I'll tell you, non-specific sucks ass because you get everything plunged at you and you're just kind of like, oh, fat chick. Okay, I guess I'll take a fat chick.
Yeah, because I feel good. It just feels good as hell. Yeah, no, you gotta know what you want. The crazy part about dating and men and dating, what's crazy about men that blows my mind is that you can have these powerful businessmen who making all this money, who can command a room, who has people working for him and everything else. But when it comes to dating, he just jumps out of the plane in free fall. And I'm like, just apply the same principles, the same shit that you. But guys are taught that you approach dating from a puppy love standpoint, love and feelings.
That's what it is.
All of this shit, you know what I'm saying? And it's not like that. If you want your shit to be success, I don't really have dating problems no more. I ain't had a problem from a woman in a long time because I approach the shit like I approach my business and anything else. Yeah, I feel things. Yeah, I like the feeling of excitement and shit like that, but that doesn't drive me. When I entertain a woman or I deal with a woman, it's not from a feelings standpoint. You understand? Now, that the feeling is there if she, checks off boxes, you start to develop the feelings, but if you take the feeling away, she's still practical for me. Even if I deal with a woman,
that was it. There you go.
When I deal with a woman, if I lose feelings for her, she would still be valuable to me because she checks off everything else in a practical sense, if that makes sense. It's not just coming from just this, oh, you so cute and fine and pretty, and I just love the way you make me feel. No, I don't operate like that. I don't operate like that with anything else in my life, and I'm not going to operate like that with my women. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's just I don't know why guys just free fall when it comes to their dating life and their women, but that's not smart to me. You set yourself up for heartbreak and disappointment and everything else. And again, I'm not saying don't enjoy feelings and don't enjoy, excitement and romance and intimacy or anything like that. To put things in place so she checks those off before you get to the good stuff.
That was very important. And then how you mentioned King Dre earlier in the episode that you don't like to be the life of the party. So to hear this from you, right? Because I'm more like the animated, like I like to be. Not that I want to be the life of the party. I'm an attention whore, but like I like to go and charm and go out there and talk to everybody. That's just my personality, right? So we're polar opposites. But I'm so happy coming from somebody who's not as like, wants to go up to talk to everybody. You're still saying that in the end, I'm not operating just based off feelings and emotions because I would say I'm more like I like to feel emotion type of thing. But also when I look back, this is what I had to learn, a tough lesson over the years that I had to learn. Like why is this girl even in my life? Is there a special reason besides her being hot and having big tits and an ass? You know what I mean? Because if you asked me, King Dre, like a couple years ago, like, why are you dating these certain women? Number one thing, there's not many out there that I can get. I think this is what's been given to me, so I'm just gonna accept it. And then number two is like, oh, she has like a nice rack, face is decent enough, but like I never asked these girls to do anything for me, And then if you're gonna operate on a woman being your girlfriend, you gotta prep her. This is an audition. You think this is a fucking game, guys? This shit is not a fucking joke.
The crazy thing, Cam, I've been like that my whole life. Every girlfriend that I ever had was practical besides one. And that one was a disaster, right? But every girl, like with my kid's mom, I was with her for a long time. Pretty girl, exciting, but she was there for me. She provided me value. She did this, she did that. Okay, let's see what she's talking about now. Right. Okay. After she do this, and we can see what we can do. The girl before that, she did X, Y, Z. Okay. Now let's see what she's talking about. But there was only one girl that, I was like, oh, she's exciting. And let me just see what this is about. Right. And of course, it was a fucking disaster. So, just don't free fall. Don't jump out of the plane. Why? There has to be a reason that a woman is in your life.
Absolutely. And it's funny because I saw this meme. I forgot who posted this. Excuse me. It might have been part of like Offie's like post or something like that. There's, dudes literally be like this. They act all hard as shit. They go to the gym. They have these big muscles and they act like super tough in front of all their guy friends. But when it comes to a girl, they literally bitch out and their girls run their fucking show. And I'll tell you this, King Dre, if you want to see like pathetic ass men, I'm sure you've seen them all over the internet, but I've seen pathetic ass men coming into my business. And, I'm in hospitality. I've seen the most like cringe, pathetic guys come into the restaurant. They say, "Hey, I'd like to place an order," and let's just say the guy wants black beans in his burrito, but his wife told him she wanted pinto beans. I've seen guys come back into my restaurant with their tail between their legs, and they're just kind of like, "Oh, hey man, I just want to say like my wife started yelling at me because I got the wrong beans for the burrito," and I'm looking at this dude, and the dude's like, like big, and I'm like, "Your wife yelled at you?" And I gave him this face like, bro, man the fuck up. Hold your fucking nutsack and go back to that lady and tell her, like, listen, it's not the fucking end of the world.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, if this guy's like an idiot and he's sloppy from like multiple times, that's a different story. If he's like a dumbass moron. But I mean, if this is like a one-time thing, like your lady's like, obviously there's a pattern. Like he's doing stupid shit and she's not
I don't give a fuck if it was a pattern or not. I bet you're not gonna stress me out over some shit like that. That could be fixed.
Exactly.
Now, if I can understand, okay, I as you send me to the restaurant and you say, hey, I don't want any cheese on my burger because cheese gives me indigestion, right?
Yes.
And I come back and there's cheese on the burger. I didn't check it. I can understand you being upset, but you're gonna respect me now. But if we at the restaurant and I come out and it's pinto beans instead of black beans and you yell at me, bitch, guys tolerate that because again, where am I going to get this from again? I'll never have this again. So I have to deal with this.
Yeah. And shout to Afi Kingdom podcast. Good to see you, brother. Thank you so much for
what's up, Afi, bro?
So King Dre, just 2 questions left. One of the questions is what's your advice that you would like to give to men going forward after hearing our episode? And then I want to ask you just one more question about your course. So advice for men going forward, what advice can you give them just to have some hope and have some respect for themselves, the validation that they need to become like guys like us, to have the strong mindset, like character and mindset? Like what kind of advice would you give to those men?
Let's see, general advice. Just do it, bro. Let's go. The guys are scared to get in the game. Let's go do it. That's the only way you're gonna get better. Have some self-respect. Just know that she's replaceable. Let's just say that she's replaceable. She can be replaced. There's nothing special about her. What's special about her was the feeling those feelings that you feel is she's just a vehicle. Those are your body producing the feel. You making yourself feel that way. She's just a vehicle. You can go get another vehicle. You understand what I'm saying? Those positive feelings that you feel that makes you feel all warm and mushy. Any woman can make you feel like that. So just understand that she's not the only one in the world. If she don't fit the mold, find another one. You can get it again. Just like you got her, you can get it again. And it's billions of women out here.
I'll say this, King Dre, that there are some ladies like Ritu, for example, is in the building. Like, thank you, Ritu, for your participation. And I'm sure there's other women that are going to watch this on the replay, or they're going to watch it. We're watching it right now. That may sound harsh, what King Dre just said right now. He's saying like women are replaceable or whatever. She's like,
they are. You don't gotta fuck that. You don't gotta explain that. That ain't harsh. They are replaceable. Fuck that. I mean, shout out to Ritu. I fuck with Ritu, but shout out to everybody. Fuck that. You ain't got fuck that. Don't explain that. It's not harsh. They are. All of you are fucking replaceable, just like they know you replaceable. They know you were fucking replaceable.
That's fair. Facts.
They know. Listen, they know. That's why they do it. They replace you. They'll sit there and deal with your ass, but they know, okay, I can get another one of these motherfuckers. Mm-hmm. So it's not that I'm saying it's like they expendable commodities or they just like, but it is what it is. Like, you're not the only person in the fucking world.
Correct.
You're not the only person in the world. You're not the only person that can suck dick. You're not the only person who can fucking make me feel good. You're not the only person who can give me a hit of dopamine. You're not the only person that I can bond with. You're not. So don't come in my life thinking that you are. It's not harsh. If that makes a woman feel a certain type of way, then she's insecure.
And she's not even on your team. She's not even like, in support of like who you are as a man.
Thank you.
Yeah. And read don't worry, Cam. I know, Dre, you don't mean no harm. I love that, man.
Hey, fuck that, man. Don't try to, don't. It seems harsh and all that. It's not, because they feel the same way about you. Trust me.
I agree. I agree.
And I think we need to be unapologetic about certain things.
Sure.
And when women see that we are like that, then they'll get in line. They'll get in line. You'll stop seeing the shit that you see from them. The reason that they are is because they know they can push us and we got to walk on eggshells. And, I don't mean it like that. Fuck that.
Right.
I mean exactly what the fuck I said. You are replaceable. You are. If you go to your job, you're replaceable. You're just a human being. It's 5 billion or more of you who have the same 3 holes. There's nothing special about you. So don't come in my life like it, please.
It's just ultimately the foundation of what you're saying is that it comes from a mindset of abundance. That that it's not the end of the fucking world just because she's like attractive and just because she's, the sex is amazing or something like that. I mean, even Ritu is like saying this as well. Thank you, Ritu, for the comment, because it's true. We all are replaceable. Absolutely. I mean, again, the guys from the past, me from the past, and like guys, maybe even right now, some men right now, they're living off the scarcity mindset, and they just feel like that, that special moment where you're just hugging her in bed or some shit like that, like it'll never come back again. But that's not true.
Right.
That's not true. And what guys will need to do, which goes perfectly into the course, they need to sign up for ultimateladiesman.com. Because right now with King Dre's, even I gotta give it. Okay, I'm gonna even say this on air. Even on my own goddamn show, King Dre had to like help me out and give me some advice right there. And even Mr. 1950, he gave me personal advice. It was like a therapy session with that guy.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you guys right now that I'm okay with what King Dre just said right now. If you guys just got some live coaching with me right now.
Helping me. I wasn't even trying to. I was more so for your viewers, so because they're gonna come on my channel with that. I just want to let you know,
right?
Women or not, I'm not apologizing for shit I said. You are replaceable. I don't fuck who you are. So I just don't want. I didn't mean it like I'm selling you or nothing like that. Nope. I just don't. I just don't like to see, because that's
King Dre, you don't even explain. I have to say that, brother. I know exactly what you mean. I'm just saying for my own viewers right now in my own podcast that I feel comfortable. I'm comfortable in my skin, that I have someone who has like very well versed in game and understanding of life, helping me become sharper, like right there. And that's okay if it's on my show. That's okay if it's on the air. I just want to get better as soon as possible. I don't have time to jerk around and waste.
Right.
So I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for that.
For sure. Yeah, I want all guys to understand that you don't have to be apologetic about your.
Thank you.
You know
what, King Dre? King Dre, I'll say this because I'm in the hospitality industry. Sometimes I do become over apologetic, and sometimes I have like that inclination. I'm just like, I have to apologize.
Yeah, let me make this right. Let me, I don't want to offend people, and we get like that. But at the end of the day, take it or leave it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say Bernie, beautiful comment. Dre is the stone cold punch. That was exactly what we all need to hear right now. Not just for myself, but for everybody who's watching this right now. This is what it's all about, man. This is about guys helping guys out, and that's why I created this podcast, because like I was gonna get some value out of it, not just to interview guests like King Dre, but also maybe, hey, I get something out of it as well. Like after the show is done, not just for my audience, but for myself too, which is, why I created this, because I want everybody to value from it. So King Dre, thank you again for coming on the show. UltimateLadiesMan.com. For anyone who just popped in right now, can you please explain again, like what's it going to encompass? What should people expect?
All right. So yeah, I have a course coming out October 25th, UltimateLadiesMan.com, where I teach you the whole dating game from start to finish, from the initial cold approach all the way to escalating to sex. So that's code approaching, how to communicate via text, what not to say, what to say, shit test they give you, how to pass the test, what high interest looks like on a date, how she's showing her interest on a date to let you know it's a green light, how to screen for time wasters and attention whores, how to screen out women who are looking for sex, how to screen out women that's in a whole phase, how to screen out vulnerable women who just broke up. All of this stuff, I teach you how to do this so you can maximize your time out here in the dating game, so you're not frustrated and spinning your wheels. I'm very skilled at this. I've been doing this for a long time, 20 plus years. So I know what I'm doing, and I'm here to bring it to you so I can teach you. And not only are you going to get that course, you're going to get, you're going to get Attraction 101, one of my other courses, and How to Make a Woman Fall in Love with You. So you get 3 courses in this package deal, and it's going to make you the ultimate ladies man. So you don't want to miss this.
All right.
Get on the waiting list right now.
Yes, sir. And we got Bernie posting up the waiting list. That's October 25th. That's when it begins, right? October 25th is when the waiting list begins.
No, you can get on the waiting list now, but the course comes out October 25th.
Got it. So guys, make sure what is it, like an email thing? Did they just leave their email on?
Just leave your email, but then I'll shoot your email, let you know when it's available.
Absolutely. Well, King Dre, again, this was awesome, man. Like, thank you for, for guys like me who, I have, there are other men out there that have the same personality as I do. I'm hope that anybody who does have this encompass the same kind of like way I carry myself, or the way I like to handle conversations. I want to appreciate you live on the air for helping me with that. I'm truly grateful for that. And I hope everyone who watched this on the air right now, like you guys also gathered a lot of information, and it's like a healthy balance of everything, but also understanding like when is the right time to say certain things, or when is the right time to act on a certain thing. And we need clarity. And if you're not out there like getting coaching from King Dre, in fact, if you're not following King Dre, follow him right now on his Instagram. It's let me actually look it up. It's King Dreism, excuse me, right?
Yeah.
Bernie, if you could please, thank you, Ritu, for the comment. Bernie, if you can please post King Dre's Instagram as well, so we can have it on the records for that. But again, guys, this was a wonderful, wonderful interview. King Dre, you're a freaking boss, brother. Really appreciate you. I know you're going to crush it on your course. I know you're going to be helping lots of guys, and I'm sure there's going to be a great turnout. And I can't wait for those books to come out, man. I could even feel the rawness through the books too. You're just gonna be looking like, this guy just made me so stone cold punch through the book.
Yeah, the book's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a wake up call. So
I love it, man. Well, guys, this is Matt. Good to see you, brother. Just watch the video on replay. The episode is over now. Thank you so much for everyone coming in. You guys all have a great night. This is episode 29 with King Dre. Your game is your power. Peace.
Appreciate